Security Association of India, I take immense pleasure in inviting you, welcoming you all for this webinar, e-seminar, e-conference mode on cybercrime, grievance redress, investigation, and cybercrime analysis. DiSAI is the fifth initiative of Prime Point Foundation. The other initiatives being the eSign, which is now into its 170th edition, for which I happen to be the editor. It is one of the, not one of the, I think it is the earliest e-magazine at a corporate level, corporate, non-commercial e-magazine founded in India. Then we have the Education Loan Task Force. Then we have the Sansad Ratna Awards, a very noble and unique initiative of civilians giving an award to politicians. Normally, politicians give award to civilians. Now, Sansad Ratna Award is a civilians giving an award to politicians based on a provable, empirical, published data of Lok Sabha Secretariat on which MP has attended, how based on the attendance parameters, number of questions asked, number of questions raised, and number of private bills presented, a number of debates participated, like those parameters. Very provable, clearly published data. We give awards like that. Then we have Digital Journalist Association of India. Nowadays, everything is going digital. So journalism also is going digital. Every citizen, every person who has a mobile, he becomes a reporter. So we thought there is a lot of scope for having an initiative to tell the people the nuances of journalism based on digital mode. That's something. Then as an offshoot of Digital Journalists Association, we also do have the NGPL, Next Generation Political Leaders. This also is an idea purely based on the motivation, encouragement, suggestion, guidance given by none other than the late president, people's president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Actually, he was telling that why don't we look at the positive things in life? There are so many good people in politics. We should recognize good persons, performing parliamentarians. Based on that only our Sansad Ratna Awards was instituted. Similarly, we should also groom people for politics. Politics by itself is not a dirty word. We should groom young people. They should also be motivated to come into politics so that they'll become good politicians. On that basis, NGPL, Next Generation Political Leaders, NGPL was founded. That is doing very great in the past 1.5 to 2 years. A lot of conferences have been conducted. Now we are in the Digital Security Association of India, for which Prime Point Foundation founder Srinivasan and myself, Logesh Babu, Ramesh Bhashyam, Prakasham, we are all there. Dr. Jagannathan is the president. Dr. Jagannathan will be rendering the welcome address in another 1 minute. Before that, I have a few announcements. Those who are there in the name of the device, kindly rename to your individual names, identifiable names. It is as per the Government of India directives also. In any webinar, the participants should be identified in their names and not in a fictitious name. So please do it. And you can switch on the camera also or switch off the camera depending upon your convenience. As far as the voice is concerned, keep it open, unmute at the time when you want to raise a question, raise hand. Based on that, we will give an opportunity. The whole thing will be then at the end of the program or as soon as every speaker concludes, we'll be keeping all the mic open for a few seconds. We can clap so that the speaker gets motivated that we are all with you. We enjoyed your speech. Other than that, keep your mic in mute position only. And any questions, you can always put it in the chat box. Myself or Logesh Babu, somebody else will be reading out the questions and posing it to the speakers. First, Mr. Venkatachalapathy. I don't want to introduce these two gentlemen. Mr. Venkatachalapathy will be speaking for about 20 to 25 minutes, followed by Mr. Ravichandran, who will speak for about 20 minutes. The last 25 to 30 minutes will be having purely for question answers only. You can raise questions in the chat box or as a voice also. I'll be coordinating. Now over to Dr. Jagannathan for a formal welcome address.
My dear distinguished guests, Mr. Venkatachalapathy, the former Deputy Commissioner of Police, and Mr. Ravichandran, an information security expert, my fellow team members in the Digital Security Association of India, and the distinguished invitees, delegates. I have great pleasure in welcoming you all to this very significant topic of this webinar. After a lot of thought, based upon the necessity of this topic, this webinar has been organized. Now the internet has been used more and more fast and more fast. So as a result, now we have more incidents of cyber crimes and online cheating. So now we may be very knowledgeable, informative, but the moment one becomes a victim of one such case, we do not know what to do and how to proceed with. So as a result, we thought this is an occasion where we can brief you precisely what to do to get your grievances redressed. And in most of the towns and cities, we have the cyber cells available. In case you are happen to be a victim of any such online cheating or cyber crime, you please give a written complaint to the cyber cell with your contact address, the nature of the crime, and other details, but give it in writing so that they will take into account an action possible for that. In case you are in a town or a city where such a cyber cell is not available, now you should remember the cyber crimes and online cheating have global jurisdiction. So as a result, you can lodge a written complaint and file an FIR in any police station. In case they refuse to accept your FIR, then you can approach the Deputy Commissioner of Police or the Judicial Magistrate. So the IT Act provides you a lot of privileges. Please be aware of them. Only then we can be availing them. So now we have two distinguished guests with us, one Mr. Venkatachalapathy and Mr. Ravichandran. I welcome both of them and also every one of us so that we will have a pleasant and a very informative evening today. Thank you. Welcome you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jagannathan. I now request Ramesh Bhashyam, Treasurer of DiSAI, to formally introduce the speaker, Venkatachalapathy, first.
Yeah, good evening to all of you. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Venkatachalapathy, the speaker of the day today, and including Mr. Ravichandran also. Mr. Venkatachalapathy served in the police department for more than 3 decades, and he was directly recruited as a sub-inspector in the 1987 batch, and he was being as an inspector in Viluppuram and the Kadalur districts also. And in his younger days, he faced a lot of agitation and as well as the roadblock also, which was the order of the day in that particular days. And then he became a DSP in CBCID branch, handled sensitive cases also. And also he served in Salem and Ranipet also. And before being as an inspector, and he has been selected for the training program as a change agent in Rajasthan Police Academy. And apart from this, he had an opportunity also to visit international abroad and London for the training program. It is because of his hard-earned efforts and as well as the meritorious services, honest and commitment, and for training programs. Later on, he was been promoted as and posted as a assistant commissioner in Egmore in Central Crime Branch, and also he has been promoted and posted as an additional deputy commissioner cyber crime branch from 2015 to 19, and he became so popular. And he handled a lot of cybercrime cases also, including the VIP cases also in cybercrime. And he is more passionate on this, and he becomes very popular on this. He served in vigilance department also, being as an ADSP. And last but not the least, he promoted as a superintendent of police, and he retired last year. He is quite passionate in cybercrime in this field. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh Bhashyam. Sir, Venkatachalapathy, sir, it's over to you now.
Thank you. Thank you. I will be coming. 1 minute.
Hello?
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. Thank you. Good morning to all and the office bearers of DSAI. Thank you for the good opportunity provided to me. So I am very happy. Actually, I was in cybercrime from 2014 to 2019, and I was also handling the petitions received from the general public regarding the cybercrime as well as the general offense. While receiving these petitions and undergoing this investigation and other things, I was really messed up with the digital world. You know very well that India is having a second highest populated country and having 17.7% of world population is in India, and among that half of the 54.9% of people are using internet. Unfortunately or fortunately, 50% of their population are under 25 years of age. You can imagine that in the year 2010 there was 25 online game promoters, online game providers were available in India, but it is in 2019 it was 250 because they have launched this online game on vernacular languages, in the local languages, because there is a potentiality in India. So everywhere there is a, without digital we cannot live. Here is the day of digital world. In your water dispenser has lost its quantity, it will automatically inform to that vendor that you have to place a can in that system. And even in a warfare, when there is a warfare, even you can launch rockets, everything through digital mode. And wherever there is an automation, you cannot have, hereafter you may not have a doctor, personal physician, personal lawyer, nobody. It will be automation will fulfill the same. In such circumstances, we are receiving n number of petitions in cybercrime. So what is the base for the cybercrime? What is the thing caused attack for a particular individual? Because of my experience, I have segregated that first is that greediness. Whatever the smallest amount or quantum of greediness existed in the victim, that is sufficient to exploit by the perpetrator, number one. Second thing, that insufficient knowledge over the digital product. If I want to use a device or a app or a internet or anything, there are a lot of treasures available in the internet that to teach you how to use it, how to be very safe, nothing. You can see that when we are open Facebook, there is an agreement running pages, and the last there will be a symbol agree. We are not, we will not read the entire agreement. Lastly, we will tick the agree only, because without knowing the what are all the agreements available, what are the things they are going to see you, visit you, and get your consent for explore your identity, everything. But we are making an agreement. So insufficient knowledge, then unlegitimate passion towards the device and the other products, everything. This is the reason, because without knowing the device and other things, we have a passion. Everybody is using. Why not I? Then we are all being counted because of the likes. How many likes? How many thumbs ups? How many followers? Likewise, we have been fascinated to become a prey in this. Then this ultra modernism. We have to follow certain things based on our knowledge, status, necessity, everything. In one case, one fellow has lost money, and why he had in a wishing call he has answered that he had divulged all his card data, OTP, CCV. Then why you have given this data? I mean, he told me that the perpetrator, the fraudster, had asked me to enhance my credit value and for our usable to a foreign country. Then I asked, are you having any passport? Are you having any chance to visit abroad? He says, no, sir. Then I asked, why you are not having a possibility to visit a foreign country? Why should you need a card usable in a foreign country? That is called, he has a fantasy that he wanted to have the modernism, that he wanted to have a card usable at a foreign country. Likewise, these are all the things which makes the perpetrator, fraudster, to make you fall in the victimization. That is why. Now I am giving you few examples and how this had happened, how this can be investigated, how it was revealed, then how it could be prevented. Normally in major complaint that the people in Facebook holders account who is having an account in Facebook, often they have added some unknown people as friends. Unknown people as a normally that fellow will request a friendship based on that he is a friend of friend. Likewise, but without verifying this factor, they made friend. Later, that fellow had interacted and they have threatened her with by thing or by creating a fake Facebook and giving trouble to that lady. And the lady has reported this. Now the lady has told me whether my complaint will be secret in cybercrime, whether it will be published in paper, whether I can have a confidence over that. Then I told that even in missing case, any photographs of missing person should not be published in media, paper or electronic media without the consent of the with the relatives of the blood relatives of the missing case. Even in the cases of prostitution and other things, we are not allowed, no police is allowed to publish the photograph of a lady. Even a matter related to a lady, it should be published in a secret manner. So likewise, whatever the thing reported in cybercrime, it won't be given to any news or media, electronic media. That will be safe because it rests a sensitive information to the police. Even in our organization, we are not allowing any research-oriented things to reveal the individual's information. So after she reported, we have to write a letter, send a mail to the Facebook Inc. department, which is having their headquarters at somewhere else outside India, because there is a difference of legal proportionates. There is a difference of legal values in the way. They won't give the details for different cases and other things. Only there was a sexual explicit or sexually transmitted things, they will give details of the Facebook registry name, Facebook account holders name. In Facebook also, they can convulse, they can create a Facebook without giving all real details of the things. But the IP addresses, we can get it. But apart from that, we have collected the friends list. And on the friends list, we are able to find out the accused, and we have secured him. And even we had a conventional method of collecting evidence by visiting him, seizing his cell phone and this laptop, and I have told them to open his Facebook by using his password and username password, and we have taken over that Facebook account and preserve it. We have written to Facebook to preserve the same, and by which we are able to detect the accused and that. In another one case, in a employee is working. On those days, it was it was very simple. In a company, there was an employee that this company is doing business related to foreign country. These products such as frameworks and other things will be sent to foreign client. The foreign client through a PPD, and after that foreign client will approve it, and it will be sent back to the company, and it will be that product will be designed in such a way. In this company, there are competitors are there. The competitors are usually used to kindle that employee and to divulge with some facts, some classified information from the company. Likewise, in this company, one fellow had transmitted classified information from the company to the competitor company. In later days, he had quit the job and he joined in the new company. Then after that, they have reported to the police. So we have visited, we have chased that computer, laptop, and we have collected the imaging the entire things, and we have sent it to the forensic evidence, and we have find out some of the mails had been originated from his mail ID to the particular company, and we have succeeded. Actually, on those days, this company is not blocked any surfing of internet or private surfing or private mail sending in this from their system. Later they came to understand because of this only this had happened. So they have prevented the sending of mail from the company's system by privately. In such a way, this was the case. While before that, they have argued, they have filed a case, the accused side filed a case in Human Rights Commission stating that he was taken in such a way like this, and he had filed in a court to pass the case because there is no digital evidence acceptable by court, and likewise they are making numerous claims. Because of it only, it delayed, but later the charge sheet was filed. So the company can, nowadays the companies are watching their employees through their Facebook and social media. They are watching their pattern of their working. Even they have been given logbook. They are given with personal ID. Everything was nowadays given to curtail the things. One lady from a top bureaucrat's sister had approached us with the recommendation that she had a problem. Then, another one case. During 2019, there was an important political leader was admitted in the hospital. That after admitted in the hospital, somebody has sent a Facebook and posted Facebook and some other social media that she had already died, and the government is going to focus the things in some other manner. Then there's some comments with the intention to create a religious disharmony by which the particular caste has killed that fellow, and these people are going to take action on those people likewise. So we have examined the Facebook and other social media postings, and it is very sad to note that the comment which are all more impulse oriented. The people does not know what is the gist of the content, how to comment over it, why they are commenting, what is the necessity like this. They are stating, yes, it is true. We have to kill, we have to cut into pieces, we have to dig them in and somewhere else. Likewise, they have to come. So we have to take action. When we sent the Facebook authority to send the details of the Facebook account holder, they have refused to give because as per their law, it does not amount to a criminal action. Then we have taken such conventional method. We have explore what about the profile, who are all the person friend to them, where he is checking, where he is working, what is his some other personal intimations. he is having. Likewise, we have gone through innumerous items in the Facebook. Later, we have arrested around 10 people to create a consensus that unless there is a legitimate comment, nothing should be done without these things. So this even in Facebook and even in some other things, the only problem is that if we ask any request to provide the details from the particular authority, it should be offense in their nation also. In the, if a server is situated in outside India, it should satisfy the requirement of them. Otherwise, they won't give such a details in normal. So, moreover, you can see phishing call and phishing call. There is a bank account holder. There is a phone number. There is everything. Why the police is not detecting these things? You can see that in the particular one fellow is calling from a particular phone number. That phone is being purchased on the basis of a fraudulent documents. Those documents, because in North India, most of the service providers had not make a strict rule to purchase the ID things. So driving license and some other IDs are being used. Those things are being used only for purchasing a particular SIM card. One. Second, if Mr. Rajendran or myself is having a SIM card, we used to talk all other friends. But that fraudster will use only to the victims alone. Either if we analyze his CDR, we are able to find out what are all the numbers victim. He never used even the instrument. IMEI number we have deleted, we have find out what are the other SIMs he had used. Even in that, he never used the phone to speak to his friends or contact his friends or anything, and it will be a very basic model. Second. Third thing, the bank account. If the beneficiary account is in Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, everywhere, we are getting through mail, we are getting all customers application form and other things. The difficulty is that these are all accounts also used or to open in a fake documents. Once it is opened, some amount has been taken away, then automatically that fellow has discarded the bank account and he is not able to take it away. Even we are not able to, he is withdrawing money through the some other places or through ATM and other places. So, innumerous complaints could not be get success because of the SIM card purchase in a duplicate records, bank account open in a duplicate records, and even the proxy servers may used in a very great extent to mask the IP, and the IP become useless in many of the things. Because the people thinks that everything should be registered, everything should be investigated, but in fact we are not having such a sufficient number of infrastructure, man force, everything, because it is emerging. We have to, because you know very well, antivirus is detected only after the particular type of fraud thing done by the fraudster. On the knowledge of the fraudster only we are developing antivirus and other things to counter the same. Likewise, we have to develop many more things. So, in order to finish it within 20 minutes, I had an alarm. That's why there was a small delay in these things. So my dear friends, be aware with your device. You should understand. You are having a laptop, you are having a phone, whatever you are having. There are a lot of things available in the net. Go, study, expertise yourself, or you chat with your friends in this regard and empower yourself, then only it will protect you. So this type of programs will initiate a interest on you to seek a self resources within you. It will induce you or kindle you to take such a idea from others and otherwise. Be professional and be happy, because I am not a pessimistic to say at last. I am not pessimistic. to denounce or not to use digital. Digital is excellent thing. Digital things are excellent because it become the order of the tomorrow and future. It will, without which we cannot live. Digital in hereafter literacy means digitally literacy will be the literacy. Digitally literated will be the literator. Otherwise, normally the literacy meaning has been defined like that. So thank you very much. I am ready to answer your question without within my knowledge available to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Venkatachalapathy. It was a very, very friendly talk, very easily intelligible, without use of any technology. This is precisely, hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
This is what we had in mind when we invited you. In fact, I had the occasion to interact with you even at the helm of affairs when you were the additional DC in cyber coming. You used to be a very busy person, the most sought after police official in the Chennai press and media circles, and everywhere people used to go to you. But even those days, I've always found you sporting the same smiling face with this whole cool debonair, easily approachable. Really a very rare attribute for a police official. So perhaps one day we'll have a lecture from you on how to remain cool even amidst handling very sensitive cases also. I think
because we are not having any other options. See, everybody is above me. Including the complainant and officers are above me. I have to be.
So it shows your humility, sir. It shows your humility.
Thank you very much. That was the training I was given as a change agent in the police training college, police training academy at Rajasthan. It is a UNDP program. How to be very friendly with public. What public is expected, what community is expected, how we have to react.
In fact, I'm not telling it just for getting applause for you.
No, you are right. Actually, I have kept
seriously shouting or getting angry like that. I never seen you.
It is really on first time when people are seeing me, they thought that I am a little bit arrogant. So I kept a mirror in front of me. Usually, I used to see the mirror and I laugh it. But because of that, my smiling statue become very wide. Okay, thank you.
Very nice, very nice. And now I request Mr. Ramesh Bhashyam to introduce the next speaker, Ravichandran. I request Ravichandran also to be very brief, possibly a little briefer than even Venkatachalapathy, so that we'll have more time for question and answers.
The next speaker of the day is Mr. S.N. Ravichandran. And I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Normally, when we say S.N. Ravichandran, we may not be able to forget it. We used to call us Powai Ravichandran. He has been associated with the Coimbatore District Police, and he has handled a lot of training programs and as well as the and cyber investigation and cyber crimes also, especially for the Coimbatore. And not only on cyber crimes, even including the cyber security also. He handles from 2009 to 2016, he has done a wonderful job, and even now he is holding the passion to conduct cyber security, cyber crime training programs, not only for the police department, even for the institutions, universities, industries, and anywhere else, and actively associated with the DiSAI from the beginning of the day. And now I request Mr. Ravichandran to take it. The floor is for you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhashyam. I also thank DiSAI for inviting me here. Since time is short, I will start straight away. If Mr. Rajendran can put on those PPT which I had given to him earlier, then it will be easier for people also to take it up. Now,
yes, sir. There? Yes, sir. Okay. You can go to the first slide now.
Basically, I am here to talk about what is investigation, who is an investigator, etc. Basically, like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle described Cuvier, George Cuvier, who was a paleontologist, and he described him as a person who is able to, with a single bone, tell what is behind and what is after that bone, incidents before that bone and incidents after the bone. Basically, an investigator has what you would call he should be an artist. First, at the scene of the crime, he should be able to visualize what has happened. Then that visualization, he has to put it on paper. This is an artist work. Then you have a scientist. He should have a scientific bent of mind, empirical facts, observed facts, as well as inferred facts. And putting all this together, this is what makes an investigator. So I would like to say that an investigator, a paleontologist, we can go to the next slide also. A paleontologist, a scientist. It's a combination of all these people which will give, which will be an investigator. The next slide, please. Now, who can be an investigator? In my opinion, anybody can be an investigator. Like my professor said, all that it takes is you must have a curiosity to look at things, understand what it is, know more about it. This curiosity is essential. Then second thing is listen, don't hear. Most of us don't listen, we only hear. For example, today we have around 44 participants, and if I ask you, what did Mr. Venkatachalapathy, how did Mr. Venkatachalapathy started to talk, I doubt many people will be recollect what in the same chronological order. That is the problem. 99% of the people don't hear, they don't listen, they only hear. Then the power of observation. This power of observation is very, very important. If I say, are we observing? No, we only see, we don't observe. We see and walk on. Now, tomorrow, if I ask you what has happened, today, for example, if I ask you, Dr. Jagannathan's video was on for some time, what was there behind Dr. Jagannathan? Has anybody observed it? So, the observation and experiment. This is a thing that I was taught in college. Experiment, observe, infer. This is my topic, chemistry. Experiment, observe, infer. This is a thing that I did over and over again for 5 years. 3 years in my UG and 2 years in my PG. Experiment, observe, infer. And I have written pages of experimentation, observation, and inference. So investigation is easy for me. And unless you have the facts, you cannot conclude. Mr. Venkatachalapathy was giving a lot of examples in investigation. And if you had observed, he does not conclude immediately, okay, somebody comes and gives a complaint, okay, this is the person who is the culprit. No. He collects facts. He takes facts from Facebook. He collects facts from Facebook. He collects information from the legal authorities of Facebook. And everything put together, he logically comes to a conclusion. And knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have for everybody, about every domain in this place, then it is more easy for you to do an investigation. Somebody said knowledge is power. I say today, in today's world, knowledge of others is more powerful. And at the end of the day, you must know how to ask the right questions. Anybody can ask a question, but very few people can ask only the right question. If you ask the right question, you will have the right answer. And there must be a clinical detachment to every problem. I think that is the reason why Mr. Venkatachalapathy is able to still smile when VIPs come and torture him. It is a detachment from the crime itself. Now, what you are seeing on your screen is an illusion. Now, how you view it? In normal course of time, I would have opened this up and asked, what do you see here? Do you see two people under a tree looking at a beautiful this thing? How many of you do see the baby there?
Yeah, I do see the baby.
Yes, I see the baby.
This is the illusion. A lot of people don't see it. Next slide, please. And how it's a matter of perspective. Now this, if you look at this at one angle, it looks like a rabbit. At the other angle, it looks like a duck. So perspective, how you view a particular crime scene. Next slide, please. Now, where do we get now what are the tools that we are using in the cybercrime investigation? First thing is information. Where do we get this information from? From the internet, social media sites, proxy sites, emails, email IDs, software, hardware, communications, everywhere. This is the field from where you can get the investigation. So once a crime is reported, generally what I suggest is look at it from the victim's point of view. Look at it, what is the loss? Look at this, the loss will give you the motive. The motive will give you the perpetrator. Then the perpetrator, how he has done it, the modus operandi. And finally, you look at the machine from where it has been done. Your investigation is complete. And where do you read the crime scene from? The log trails, emails, stylometry, websites, social media sites, mobile phones, CDRs, messages, all these places. What all these do is establish a pattern of how the criminal mind works. At the end of the day, every criminal will leave behind a signature at the scene of the crime. And the most perfect crime, the signature is the perfection of the crime. The perfection of the crime will indicate that the person who is doing it is a very perfect man in all his general work also. He'll be meticulous in his work. So what you are seeing on the screen is tracks. These are the tracks that I was talking to you, which is available on cyberspace. Now, there is a story behind these tracks. What is the story? The story is, can anybody say it? Quick. Anybody, any one person. What do these tracks tell?
Flock of birds, sir.
See, now one person says it's a flock of birds.
No, the tiger has eaten another person.
Another animal. Okay.
Animal.
So now I will tell you this story. What is this story? This story is nothing but the tracks of a dinosaur. A tiger will not have the tracks like this. This is a track of a bird-like reptile, Raptosaurus. And this on the right-hand side, on the other side, you see close tracks, which is a dinosaur which is grazing on the grass. Now, one reptile sees the other reptile, and if you can see the steps that are being taken on the left-hand side of the screen, if you can see it, it leaps, starts leaping. Now, from the length of the stride, the manner in which it attacks this thing, all these can be taken from this story. Of course, if there was a physical interaction, then I would have been able to explain to you better. But at the end of the day, it is a reptile attacking another reptile, eating it, and then walking away. This is the story. This is what a paleontologist does. From one bit of tooth, he is able to create the entire animal by itself. The next slide, please. This is the animal which is, see, if you see the feet, it is three fingered. Now, this is what an investigator is also done. Now, Mr. Venkatachalapathy has talked about the perpetrators and how he has classified them. I have classified them in a different way. It is money driven. It is emotion driven. It is sexual impulses driven. It is belief driven, politics, religion, ideology. It is just for fun, just to test the intelligence level. Then it is psychological also. Some people are affected psychologically. They also become criminals. Next, Next. See, basically, what do we have on a cyber space? We have messages. We have email IDs. We have, and what I have found out is every person has a unique way of writing messages. Now, I will ask this, there are 4 slides in this. Right from the beginning, I request you to go through one slide after the other. Then I will explain to you how I use this as a stylometric.
You want to go to the first slide, sir?
Yeah, I want to go to the first slide. No, not the first slide. I'm sorry, this Right. Before this. So this is the first slide. Actually, the issue was very simple. One lady came into the station. She gave me this email she had received and said that somebody is threatening her. Then I asked her, do you know who it is? She says, I don't have any enemies at all. I don't know who has done this. So we have to find out who has done this. We got the IP address from the service provider. We went to the IP address, this thing, and it was a browsing center. And that man did not have any registers. This I am talking about in 2010-11. Then from this from these 4 slides, I was able to profile the person who has created these slides. You please go to the next slide.
The next one, sir.
1 minute before this. Yes, this is one slide. Please look at it very closely. Now the next slide. Now the next slide. Now you can go to the beginning of this slides. Right. So from these 4 slides, I'll just go fast how I detected. When I went through these slides, it struck me that 2 people have written this slide. One was a person in the age of 25 to 30, and the other person was beyond 45 years of age. One was a male person, the other one was a female person. Now, how do I come into all these things? If you see in this slide, this ND, instead of and, AND, it is ND. Have your, you are, grandmother, are your mother, told you. These are all abbreviated SMS messages which people in younger generation use. Mr. Rajendran or myself, we don't use this. We type out HAVE, YOUR, and all that, AND, etc., etc. So younger generation people. So one younger person. Now that lady complainant who had complained was about 22 years old. So it is automatically, it is easy for me to say that the person who has done it is probably 25 to 30. The next slide. The next slide. In this last 3 these things, if you see, this is perfect. Perfect English. Spelling is perfect. Everything is perfect. Which means that this person who has written this is an elder person. And if you go through this, if you go through this 3rd and 4th slide, you will find that there is a lot of abusive words used. And nothing is here in this entire this thing. So if you see, it is all written by one, probably a lady, because ladies generally do not use swear words in their messages. At least elderly ladies don't use it. The next slide. Now, if you see this slide, from this slide, I said that the person is a science graduate, probably mathematics. And he is done his MBA marketing. And 4th thing is, probably he's a frustrated person. And he has got a complex within himself. He's under a psychological disorder, in the sense that he hates his father. He is very angry with his father. And he literally worships his mother or any mother figure. So this is what I was able to deduce. How do I deduce it? If you see, you are PG, you are EG. See, PG, UG, school, it comes step by step by step. And no arts or engineering student will list it out like this. It is only a science student who will list it out with this. So he starts from, previous slide, please. Starting from PG, he comes back to its relatives. And words that you are using, database, updated, database collection, showcased, these are all management terms, which means he's a MBA student, probably. So I call, then again, the next one. Now, if you see the next pic, all the 4 pictures that you see is the female portion is in the dominant position. And the male person is at, the female person is killing the male person or standing on the male person or destroying the male person, which means that is why it gave me the impression that this man is terribly angry with his father, and he has got an obsession with the mother figure. If you see the last one, that confirms it for me. Last one was Lakshmi Narasimhan. This figure confirmed, yes, this is the thing. The shape of the figure that he has chosen shows his anger, and the clashing colors that he is using in all the 4 slides, that indicates his psychological problem. So immediately I called the girl. I asked her, have you done your MBA? She said, yes, I have just completed my MBA. Then I asked her, now what are you doing? She said, I'm going to Bangalore. I said, did you fall in love with anybody in your class? She looked at me surprised and she said, yes. Did you break it off? She again said, yes. Then I asked her about her fiancé. Then she said, no, he is staying with his friend's mother, because he has left his house even before, when he was doing his 12th standard. He was staying with his aunt, and then now he has come over to his. Then I asked her, did you have any issues with his adopted mother? She said, yes. His adopted mother did not approve of our marriage, so I abused her. So that gave me the entire thing. I took his name, went and got him in. When I got him in, at first he refused to accept that he has sent this, and no matter of cajoling, he refused to accept it. In fact, at one point, he even said that I'm going to the Human Rights Council to say that you people are harassing me. Then I told the DSP, you please wait outside, I'll just talk to him. So when I started talking to him, I asked him, why are you so angry with your father? He said, my father cheated on my mother while marrying her. And I asked, because of that, did your mother do something, or was she affected very badly? He said, yes, she became mentally unstable. I said, is that why you went to your aunt's house? And he said, yes, I went to my aunt's house. Then I was talking to him gradually like this. Then when everything was over, I told him, is that why you have sent all these messages to your girlfriend, because she has abused your mother? He said, yes, I did that. So that is how this case was broken. And when we went to that this thing, then I asked him whether your adopted mother had also come with you to do this. He said yes, and he said, he showed the portion that I showed you and said, this was written by my adopted mother. Then he was a very intelligent person. He was a mathematics graduate. He has done his MBA. He was a marketing man. The pattern shows that only a marketing man can do that, a survey system like that. So this is how that case was broken. Finally, we counseled him. He went to Middle East. He took up a big job. Then he came back again. And he said that thanks to you people, I have now settled down. There's no issues for me. In fact, he had already got a certificate from Dr. Abdul Kalam. So this was one of the cases which I used stylometry to break the case. Next slide. Next slide. Now, this is, 1 minute. Back. Now, this is a video. This is a website which was created by one Michael Suzai, who was an Interpol Red Alert. In fact, I identified this man using this websites and all that. Now, if you go through this, you will find out that this man was a megalomaniac. And he had a very high opinion about himself. The next slide, please. Very intelligent person. And you give him the slightest opportunity, he'll take advantage of that. And he used to drop names to show that he was very influential. He realized that what he was doing is illegal, yet he was justifying it. All these things that I deduced from that website, this thing and all that. Now, despite all this, he had some flaws. The flaw was, he starts out well, he does the process well, but at the end, he gets diverted very easily. And that is how he got stuck. And that is how he was caught. I was appreciative of this person because in my entire 12-year career, this is the only criminal who has appreciated. In fact, he is the only man who appreciated me and told me, boss, it is only because of you I was caught. Otherwise, I would have kept doing all these con tricks. In fact, he said that we found out that he was doing all these things since 2004. And he got caught in 2011, 10-11. Next slide, please. So this is basically what stylometry is all about. Digital tracks help in securing this thing. Digital evidence can be used in placing the suspect at the scene of the crime. But a psychological profile, if it can be built up, and it can be built up from using your Facebook profile, it can be built up using your WhatsApp message, it can be built up using your messages. If I have sufficient number of messages, yes, I can build it up. So this is how it works. And it requires a lot of imagination. For example, Professor Jagannathan sitting in one room, inside a room in USA, he is able to visualize the entire universe as a magnified form of what is going on in an atom. Both are same. You look at an atom, inside an atom, what you see there is what you see macroscopically in the universe. It is the same. It is the same imagination which drives Dr. Muthukrishnan to, in fact, he has done some wonderful work on alignment of temples in India, and how it has forms a pattern of alignment. This is the imagination that is required when doing an investigation. Yes, I can go. There are several other cases also, but this is enough. So I think I have Mr. Rajendran already warned me not to exceed my time. So I think I'll conclude with this, and I'm ready for your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ravichandran. Now I request the host to kindly unmute everybody so that we can get a round of applause for for both the speakers. I request every participant to unmute just for about 20 seconds. Unmute and give a big round of applause for both the speakers. Thank you, Ravichandran, and thank you, Venkatachalapathy, sir. Now, I do have a couple of questions. One question is from Canada, Mr. Manoharan. He says, I am regularly, Mr. Venkatachalapathy, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay. So one gentleman, a participant from Canada, retired from Canada, he says, I'm regularly getting a message stating that your card, if you want to go get the latest information about your card with this number, please pay rupees 4,376 at www.loins.in. Can I pay this? Do I have to verify? This is the doubt. I think Mr. Venkatachalapathy.
Please repeat it.
Actually,
Rajendran, before that, Mr. Rajendran, we can, Lokeshji, please mute all the audio, excepting that of chief guest and the person who moderates.
Yes.
Other external noises are coming.
Okay.
Yes, everyone is muted, sir.
No, kindly mute. Suppose you can see which are the mics which are not muted.
Yeah. I'm seeing it, sir. I'm just muting.
External noises are coming when the session is going on, excepting that of chief guest and the moderator. Let all the mics be muted.
Fine.
Okay, now, Mr. Venkatachalapathy.
Yes, please tell me. Repeat.
He says, every week, I am receiving dear customer, to get NOC on your credit card number, please pay rupees 4,373 at www.lons.in.something. That's all.
This is it seems to be an phishing mail. This mail, if you are click the particular website that was posted in the SMS, there are two things is possible. One is there will be a social engineering. Your system some in the guise of answering some question, that things will be some your information credential will be stolen. That will be used in a later stage. First, suppose it is an SMS. He has to ignore it, otherwise there is no demand, there is nothing. Actually, he is having any problem, he can go to his bank and he has to clarify, because this type of things are not normally appear in the SMS, because this is an phishing SMS. So we have to explore his mobile CDR, mobile phone details. We have to get the customer's application form, and we have to see where it was sold, where it is located. Likewise, we have to find it out the perpetrators. So this need not worry. Bank nowadays, he is know very well. Bank is like some other commercial unit. The people previously opening a bank account become a very prestigious one. Nowadays there is a bank open mela. Everything they will look after you. If even you are not able to do that, they will call you, that they will pay you. They will tell you to pay. This is a phishing mail. Need not worry. Need not need not call that fellow. Need not answer. Need not click the link for which it was demanded.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now there is another question from a participant called Vishwesh. He says, if you want to trace an IP address or an email or something like that, how fast, how quick are the US companies like Facebook or Google or Microsoft in responding to our queries?
Actually, there was a small hesitation from them because they are all only for promoting their commerce, their purpose of work become evidence they don't want to be normal. So they will check. Suppose it is a child pornography, are a thing related to transmitting of sexually explicit things or act, such other things, they will respond it properly in a time. Because if we have sent a requisition, that requisition will be listed, then there will be a status, then it will be replied accordingly in a sufficient time. Suppose if a bald head fellow, likewise somebody has make a comment that make a defamation, then you have filed anything and for which they won't give it. So whatever thing we are requesting should be a criminal orientation in their law too. Because if it is related to nation integrity or any other incitement to commit any cognizable offense, the reply will be immediate. Even we are sending some notice without registering case. For that also they are responding, provided the particular thing request made should be criminal on their side too.
Achha. So, sir, then we mean to say that if it is a crime as per their definition, they'll respond very fast. Otherwise, if it's not a crime as per their definition, if it is just a civil dispute between two people or somebody has a data case against Mr. A has a case against Mr. B, two corporates have some disputes in which Facebook or Google may not be interested. So those cases, they will not be very fast.
Yes, of course it is right. Some of the offences prescribed in our IT Act will be responded by them also properly. Suppose if you have asked something about pornography, allowed something pornography is sent by this company for that India for which we need those they cannot answer it properly. Because we are having, normally we are using to say defamation and abuse. Defamation is not abuse. You are an idiot, you are a fool, you are a mindless fellow. These things are all defamation. Abuse is different. So if it is an abuse, they will answer. If it is a defamation, they won't answer. Normally, in our case, we used to receive petition abuses, the defamation as abuse. Normal.
Thank you. Now this is.
Can I enter? Can I enter here? Can I enter here? See, Facebook and Google. I had a talk with both their legal people. They said that heinous crimes, crimes against children, or anything related to child pornography, crimes against women, and murder. These cases have priority over everything. And generally an information comes within probably 2 days or 3 days. Only thing is we need to prepare the proper questionnaire, the proper sections, and give it to them. There is a template prepared for the Tamil Nadu police, and we use the template. Probably you can give what, see, basically what they are looking at is at the URL, the time, the message ID, etc. If these things are given, then they respond very fast. As Mr. Venkatachalapathy has already told you, where heinous crimes are concerned, their reaction is fast. Otherwise, they just don't respond because it is very low on their priority, and they say that they are receiving millions of requests from all over the world. So it is basically they are not able to handle it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is right that even the child pornography, drug abuse, likewise will get an immediate response.
Okay. Because child pornography,
Yes, yes.
there are forming part of UN convention.
Yes, yes,
Convention
yes.
also speaks about it. So internationally, there is a good awareness about it. Now, Mr. Venkatachalapathy, I want to ask you one more thing. This is with regard to the US companies. Now, as regard to the scene within India, our own 13 Computer Emergency Response Team, Ministry of IT, if any website has deliberately posted a family, a lady or a good lady's picture in a pornographic website, and that lady comes and makes a complaint to you, you tell that 13 to remove that content, to remove that URL, you block the URL. How fast were you able to get the response?
Actually, nowadays we people, we first approaching the setting, we used to send to the legal team of the particular Facebook or internet or email, whatever the sources, directly from our investigating officer, even before registering a case.
Even before?
Such and such, if fits properly, even before approaching certain, we are sending requisition from our investigation agency to the particular authority of Facebook or some other people to remove the content. They are removing.
Yes.
If they are not removing, instead of having them valid reason, we have to approach to our secretary who is designated to approach certain. Through them, we have to send a request. So it should be in a proper URL. What Mr. Rajendran sir said, there should be in a proper URL. There should be a proper reason. There should be a reason to believe that it is such and such things. Then they will delete it immediately, provided our request is proper. They will do it. No need for setting.
Okay, very good. Now, last week, there's a similar thing. A fraudster has used the WhatsApp photo telling that my sister is hospitalized, please send money, something like that. Mr. Venkatachalapathy, are you busy? Okay, now last
Yes,
week,
receiving.
even last week there was a fraud, a scam in using a photo of a person in a WhatsApp message. I'm so and so. You remember I was working with you. You are a good friend of mine. My sister is hospitalized. Please send money, like that. This has happened 3-4 times. Many times they will not call. They will only send a WhatsApp message. Based on that, one gentleman actually sent the money. He sent the money at 6 o'clock. Again at 7 o'clock, he sent one more evidence. At 8 o'clock, there was one more message stating that the operation is tonight at 10 o'clock. So please send one more remittance. Only then he got very alert. He spoke to somebody. In some group message, it came to me. Then here the point is, through some influence, we were able to talk to the particular branch, which is the upcountry North Indian branch. I mean, I don't want to mention the name of the branch or bank. Through some top level influence, we were able to block that account. But in the meantime, in the 3 hours of gap, he had already withdrawn around 50,000 rupees. Possibly he would have withdrawn the other 40,000 rupees also in another 2-3 hours. Before that, we were able to stop it. In such cases, the police action requires immediate, instant action. Unless the police acts very fast, the bank won't be able to do it. Now, the question arises, the bank cannot legally stop the operation in an account when the complaint comes from a third party, because bank may not know. Only the police has to say that this third party is the victim and the beneficiary is the account holder. Sir, banks are basically supposed to protect the account holder only. So in that cases, how fast were you able to get the cooperation from the bank?
Can I answer this?
No. Okay.
Can I answer this?
Yes, sir, please.
Also to respond. I want both of you.
Because I have handled a case like this. See, every bank account has got a threshold limit. It is fixed by the bank depending upon the KYC norms. Now, if the amount exceeds the KYC threshold limit, then it is red flagged. If it is red flagged, the manager has to put a hold on that account, verify from that customer whether he is going to receive money or anything like that. I remember this case like this when I was sitting in IndusInd Bank in Delhi, trying to track a Nigerian network which we broke. About 10 people we arrested on that case also. In that case, even as we were talking to the manager, 1.25 crores fell into that account and a red flag was raised. So it is not a question. The bank has to protect the account holder. The bank has also got to take reasonable security measures to see that the money that is coming into the account is from a genuine source. It is meant for that receiver, and he has got powers to put a cooling period or lock on that so that he cannot be withdrawn for a period of some certain period. This we were able to do it, and we were able to catch that Nigerian also through that bank, this thing also. So this is a issue which is by the time the police get the complaint, go talk to the people in Delhi, talk to the bank manager in Delhi and talk to him, by the time it is over. The crime is committed even as that person is standing in the ATM center holding the card in his hand. The minute he gets the SMS message, he puts the ATM and draws the money. It is that fast. Then it is difficult for the police to do it. But yes, it can be stopped. Mr. Venkatachalapathy, sir.
My response is that because as Mr. Ravichandran sir told, nowadays the people are all very intelligent. The fraudsters are very intelligent. Immediately they are taking the money. They are having syndicate with each other, though they have not seen each other. Suppose a person from London can activate a person in Delhi and he can take the money, the remaining money without any struggle, it was shared to that after deducting his commission. So it is very difficult to defeat. Moreover, the bank managers, many bank managers are not acting very properly because we can see the KYC norm. You can see that bank account was very dormant for a long time. After that, a check for 20,000 was presented. Then he would have rang up to the particular bank accountant. Say, hey, hello, you have presented a 20,000. That fellow has said that my father has died. The bank account holder would have died. Then see, since it is a 20,000 check, they have lifted it, they have granted it, they have sanctioned it. After that, another 20 lakhs comes, then it automatically goes. Because there was a diligence. They thought that it is not at all their fault. That is why the victims are feeling that bank manager are all the part and parcel of this fraud. It is not like that, even though there was a slackness in the movement. Suppose if anybody lost by purchase of product, within 24 hours, we are able to curtail because there is a buffer time to transfer from the vendor bank to the merchant bank. So we can do. So whenever you have a problem, immediately approach to the cybercrime personally, because we need your account number, beneficiary account number, everything. We will get it through phone and we can place a request to that bank. We are able to do it possibly. Probably that fellow will be more vigilant. We are not able to do. But positively, I am saying we are able to stop the money before it is being disturbed. This distributor, provided that fellow was little bit slow. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, one more last question, sir. Sorry for the interruption, sir. Venkatachalapathy, sir. Sir, one more last question, sir. Sir, if a person calls from the WhatsApp call and this SIM card is not using any SIM card, can that person's IP address can be traced?
It is possible. I am Mr. Ravichandran is better than me to answer this question. It is possible, but it will be done only for a nation-related, terrorism-related, and defense-related things only, not for ordinary things, because it is very, 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 very serious and very laborious process. Normally, it would be do. NSA is doing. I think that Mr. Rajan is the proper person to answer it. Ravichandran is the proper person. Ravichandran, sir.
Sir, this in this particular case, I'll just have to add a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
WhatsApp call, it will be difficult to trace by our security agencies without equipment, without the necessary equipment. But
Okay.
yes, WhatsApp call can be traced. It has been done also. In the recent Pulwama attack, the WhatsApp calls were traced by FBI and given to NSA. But that is a different issue. In one murder case that I handled, the accused had run away to Delhi, and from there he was making WhatsApp call to his friends, and he was using a virtual network to communicate with his friends. So we got that details. We wrote to the virtual network persons, service provider. We found out from where he was accessing it and how the payment was being made for that. And from that credit card, we were able to track him to Delhi and take him out. This is how it was done.
Okay. Fine. Thank you, sir.
But by this, you don't think that ordinary everything will be done easily. WhatsApp call is not easily traceable.
It's not easy.
We have to take a reverse EDR and other things.
Yes.
True, sir. True. Okay, with this we come to the end of the program. I think all the questions. One, it's not a question, Mr. Venkatachalapathy. It's really a statement from your respected member, Dr. T.V. Gopal from Anna University. It's not a question, it's an opinion, I can say. He says, unless we get a few offenders into our group, at least virtually, this may not stabilize. Actually, he says that we should get some criminals or offenders inside the group, so that we should know what exactly is their modus operandi. Like, just an expression of opinion.
It is right, because after previously I told, even while we are taking antivirus, we are after getting damage only, because they're getting damage and we are rectifying by creating things. They are very faster. Their aim is, because our aim is to be a teacher, advocate, other things. Their aim is to cheat everything. There are numerous things. They are very clever. They have to do things for which, as a fun sake, they want to test their ability. Even there is a Jindabad, Pakistan Jindabad, a group there. They wanted to demolish, hack every good system in India. The Indian hackers wanted to do it in Pakistan. Likewise, they are testing their patriotism, knowledge, everything. So everywhere we have to suspect each and everything. We should not believe everything. Everybody, it will be there in our system. You know very well, in even a syndicate of good people, there was a breach in their contract. There was a breach, a difference of opinion. There is a loss. There is a struggle. Everything. But in such a biggest syndicate of them, there is no breach, no struggle, nothing. They were behaving very ordinarily, very contractual manner. Then they are doing things very fast. All the card details here stolen has been sent to foreign country. Foreign card sent to here. Then there was something done. They are doing their business in such a good manner. So we should be a little bit vigilant. What he said is right.
Thank you. It was a very, very, very interesting information, really. Great pleasure for all of us. I request Mr. C. Badri to propose a formal word of thanks. Badri, sir, you are there?
Yeah, I'm there. Thank you, Mr. Rajendran, for handing over the mic to me. It has been a very great evening today, because we had two great experts in the field who had enumerated on the investigation of cyber crime. I would like to thank Mr. Venkatachalapathy, Deputy Commissioner of Police, which in his lucid style had enumerated the problems, the exact situation in this digital world, the greediness, the insufficient knowledge, and when we always sign the agreement, without reading. This we do normally, even when we join the bank or the organization, no one reads the service agreement. They always sign in anxiety to get into the job. And then only probably at some time when some charge sheets are issued, they read and then they come to know that certain clauses are there which are not good. This is very incidentally, I am telling you. He has very nicely brought out that if you are going to take a complaint or seek information from agencies which are outside India, how they will respond. And he very nicely has quoted the example of Facebook. Unless it is a crime in that nation, they will definitely not respond to your call, which is a very important thing we should know. Then he finally concludes by saying, be aware and be digitally literate. Don't be illiterate in digital this thing. That will save you a lot of things. There are a lot of methodologies for you to find out whether it is a fact or not. Any message comes. Of course, you have Dr. Google. So you can Google everything. Whichever you have problems, you can do it and find out. That's a very valid point which one has to take it. And as Ronald Reagan says, trust but verify. You have to verify and then act. Then we had a wonderful, disposition by Mr. Ravichandran. He walked through the entire investigation and the investigator's role. And it's not that easy, because today the criminals are becoming more smarter than the other people. So if they are at the 6th step, the investigators will have to be somewhere at the 12th step, so that they will be able to find out. And today, we are seeing that Sudhan Singh Raval's case, how from a simple suicide theory, it has gone to the narcotics, the enforcement directorate, and so on and so forth, and how CBI is dealing with the case. He has taken, he had walked through the system very well explained. Both of them have given very live examples, which has really impressed all our audience. I also like to thank Prime Point Foundation, Prime Point Srinivasan, and Mr. Rajendran, Mr. Ramesh Bhashyam, Swami, and Dr. Jagannathan, and Lokesh Babu, and all others who have given a helping hand to organize this meeting. A great thanks to them. And of course, cheers to all the participants who spent their almost 1.5 hours in this program and raised a lot of questions, which will empower them and which will empower the audience also. Thank you very much. And thank you once again. And we wish you all a very good weekend tomorrow and after tomorrow. And probably next week, Rajendran will plunge into the field and come out with some novel idea and with a novel topic, which I personally expect and look forward to. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Badri sir. Sir Lokesh Babu, please unmute for a minute. Let us give a good round of applause to both the speakers and conclude formally. Thank you, Venkatachalapathy sir. Thank you, Ravi.